Hey guys, how we doing? So my name's Jack. I'm selling the van. I've gone off travelling to New Zealand, so I've just done this quick video of how the van works, so you know what is going on, because my sister and brother-in-law don't really know so much about it as I do.
Okay, here she is. First things first, opening the van with the big key into the lock. That is central locking.
So that opens the side door, the passenger door, and the rear door, but it only works from the front door. So you can't, if you open the other doors with a key, it'll just open those individual doors.
Okay, so the car is fitted with an immobiliser, which is this flashing thing. This black fob sits flashing, plug it in there and it stops flashing. Then you can put your key in and start her up. Nice and easy. Most of the time she starts up really well. Sometimes it's been not had her for a while, it might take a little go, but it's, yeah, no, it's the same. Okay, inside, so it's done 257,000 miles. Stereo, which has got aux lead. I've also got power, which is connected to the secondary battery, which is an iPod only, but it has got a micro USB attached to it as well if you want to do that. It's got a DB radio. But unfortunately the antenna, which is out there on the wind mirror, doesn't actually work.
So if you do want to get that fixed, you just need to get a new antenna, and yeah, it should be good to go.
So storage on top, I'm not going to go up there.
But it does have a key, so it's one of these two smaller keys on there. The only way you can get there is by opening the door and we're standing on there and climbing up with bare feet or feet or whatever. But I didn't really use it. It's got some fuel in there. I don't know how old it is. I bought it from it was in there from the last person, the French couple that I bought it from. So I don't know whether or not to use it or not, so that's up to you.
Okay, so this is the back of this. It's really handy. It's got clotheslines to hang anything with some pegs. Equipment, some cooking equipment, lots more cooking equipment. This is your stove, which is for this gas. Chucked in like a lighter there, so you get that lit. The fridge. Okay, so the fridge.
Okay, so the fridge is the most complicated thing to kind of explain. So it can run off 3 different power sources. It can run off AC, so I've got an extension cable, you can plug it directly into the mains. It can run off DC, which runs off the secondary battery, which I told you about before, or it also runs off gas.
Okay, with the gas, first of all, make sure the gas is turned on, like so. Then you've got a gauge there, and a knob here, and a keypad. So, leave the left-hand one as it is, that's just on its coolest setting. Push down, turn it around, and then click on the button. I'll show you now because I can only do it one hand. Okay, so you see, I've clicked a few times, still holding down on it, and the red line comes into the green, and you can release, should stay, and then twist it all the way up, and that's it on. So quite often, if you haven't used it for a while, the gas in the pipe takes a while to get in there. So if you find it taking ages to light, as long as there's gas in the bottle, it will eventually light, but it just does take some time if you've not used it for a while. I've just done it quickly then because I just had it on beforehand. Another tip with this is making sure it's level, using this little thing here. If you don't use it, if it's not level, then it doesn't get to the temperature. And if you're using it on the gas, it can take a good couple of hours for it to get down to temperature. If you can, before you go out on a trip, maybe plug it into the mains, cool it down first, and then while you're traveling, put it onto DC, which I'll show you how to do now. Okay, so there's DC and AC. The AC is literally, there's an extension lead already plugged into the fridge, so you literally just need to find the socket in the back, put that and plug it in, easy. And the DC, again, is connected, but the previous owner told me I had to keep going into the back and unplugging it when you want to take the DC off, but I'll come up with a better way. So I came up with the idea to simply remove the fuse, like so, which then goes into this yellow bit here. Pop that in there, press down on it, connect it. I'm not going to do it right now, I will. It's very difficult with one hand, this. In fact, I can't really do it. I can't really do it with one hand. Oh, as you know, yeah. There we are. And then when you come round, you should be able to see that green light on for DC. You know it's working. And you probably can't hear it with the video, but the fan is going. Again, so if you plug it into AC, the other light will go on for AC, you know it's working. And then when you're done with it, simply unplug it. So when you're driving with the van, and you've got it down to temperature already,
keep it plugged into the secondary battery. That charges when the engine is on. So when you're traveling in the van, have it on DC. Yes, connects to the battery. If you're camping, then, or stood still, have it on the gas or electricity. Ideally electricity. If you can't get electricity, then have it on the gas. But yeah, just make sure you don't leave the gas on while you're driving. Just dangerous. So the rego will expire in May. If you renew the rego in New South Wales, I would recommend taking the gas bottles out before you take it to a garage, or wherever you've got to take it to get a roadworthy certificate. Just in Western Australia, they don't have a problem with it, but in Queensland, when I got it, they said that it would fail because of the gas bottles, and I would imagine it would be the same in New South Wales, so just a bit of a tip. Okay, interior, so curtains all the way around, which is good if you're going to park in an area which you're not meant to be parking in. Little mini first aid kit there, secondary battery I showed you before, and speaker which connects to the sound system. Then the sofa bed. Sofa bed just works like a normal one. Lift it up, you'll hear a click, and you bring it back down, and it goes up. And then if you click another click, it makes it even taller, like so. And then one more click, all the way over, like that, and back into a bed. Easy. Okay, and all this stuff comes with it. Tent, which I actually have never used. 2-man tent, just a cheap one from Kmart. Kayak, hammock, table, snorkeling. This is sides for the awning. Table and 2 chairs there. Also a box full of random stuff, including a spanner in there, which will fit when you're trying to change the gas. So if you do run out of gas, if you just go to any BCF and you say it needs refilling, just take the gas canister to them and they'll just fill it nice and cheap. Okay, so the awning across the top. Unfortunately, I've only just decided to do this video on the day before I travel, and I'm on my own, so it's difficult to show you how to operate it by just myself with one hand, because I've got to hold the camera as well. But it's pretty easy to pull out. You open it up, you'll kind of figure it out. It's not very difficult, and it's brilliant. It's really useful. So it's raining, put it up. If it's really hot, put it up. It's been an absolute lifesaver, and you can put the sides on it that I just showed before. And yeah, it's just an added little extra space. Okay, so this is a bit of a simple one that I was really confused at when I first got the van. I forgot to ask. I'll just add this where the fuel cap is. So the fuel cap is there, driver's side, and then it's just this little button here. Pull it, and it opens. Nice and easy. Handy to know where the engine is as well, because I had no idea in this car. So it's underneath the passenger seat. Again, it's difficult to do with one hand, so I'm just going to show you where the clips are. It's literally a clip there, and then just the whole seat lifts forward and you can get to the engine there. I've personally never had to go into the engine because I've literally had no problems with it whatsoever. There is a couple of things wrong with the engine. Well, one, not wrong with a particular engine, but there's a hole in the exhaust you'll hear when you start that up, but it's not a massive issue. It's still not a problem at all. Then there is also a slight leak on the radiator. The French couple I've ordered from bought a part for it, but never got around to fitting it. I haven't had any problems with it. It's not affected me, so I've not bothered with it either. I think maybe when you take it if you take it to a garage to get it inspected, it may come up with that. But if you want to get it fixed, it's up to you. The part is there. I've just never got around to it. Yeah. Also, a quick tip: so if you're driving in the dark, and you turn the lights on. A lot of cars, when the lights are on, you leave the door open. You open the front door. It makes a noise to say you left the lights on. This one doesn't. I made that error once and come back to the next day and the battery's completely dead. But yeah, since I've learned from that mistake, I would recommend that you quickly also learn from that mistake too. Also the height with the roof box on the top, it's about, I wouldn't go for nothing under 2.3 metres. So if you're going through any shopping centres, just remember 2.3 metres and above. Yeah, you don't want to have it just swiped off the top. Okay, and that's it. If there's any other questions or anything. Oh, hang on, no, one more thing. To lock it up. Again, as I was saying, the central locking works from the one door. So with the front, you have to make sure, obviously, with all the doors shut, ignore the fact that one open, but you make sure your key's out and in your pocket, and then and that does lock all the doors. So yeah, that's it. So yeah, if you've got any questions, drop me a message or ask my sister or brother-in-law, but you're probably more likely to get a better answer about the van from me. So my sister and brother are only just looking after it while I'm in New Zealand, but I'm the guy that's selling it. All right, cheers. Also, guys, just like a side note, so I just thought I should mention this. I probably don't know whether I've talked about it in the description or not. So I've had the van for, when did I buy it? September. So I bought it in September up in Cairns in Queensland from a French couple who were actually really gutted to let it go. So I bought it from them, and they had told me that they took it travelling around the whole of Australia. So they'd done Western Australia, South Australia, through the Red Centre, everything. Not had a problem with it whatsoever. They did have a problem with the main battery because the French guy was a bit of a moron, but they replaced that battery. But otherwise, it's done me. I've come down the coast in it all the way from Cairns to Sydney. No issues with it whatsoever. I say apart from like the hole in the exhaust, the van is a good goer. When I took it to the mechanic to get it just checked when I bought it off the French couple, the bloke said it's in really, really good condition, the engine, and it doesn't, like, going on these long, like 5, 6 hour, 7, 8 hour drives with it, it just doesn't struggle. It's just an absolute beast. So yeah, highly recommend doing it in a van, but this van in particular is a winner.